Check, check, check. Awesome. Yeah, crazy. Okay. Where do I start? What's going on, guys? It's Jolly Cypher. Welcome. This is the first ever episode of Balcony Live, where we bring your favorite artist on. We ask them some questions and we let them play some music. Today we have with us Kyle Okonzak, known as Flower Ambrosia, also the guitarist of Partners on Shanley. So give him a warm round of applause. So Kyle, we're gonna start asking him some questions, and are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Awesome. So my first question is, what made you start making music?
Well, I have a lot of friends who make music, you included, but I've just been surrounded with music for a while, and I thought I'd pick it up one day and try and play some songs. And I don't know, it was just it was a lot of fun. It was a long time coming to try and figure out how to play guitar, but once I started to get a hold of it a little better, I was actually able to write some conceivable music. And
so how long did that take you to get to a point where you felt like it was actually tangible to play guitar and it was something that you were good at?
Well, on and off, I've been playing for probably about 5 to 7 years, but only up until about 2 years ago is when I actually started to sit down and try to practice as much as I possibly could.
So you tell people out there who are listening and watching who are aspiring to be as good as you are and play songs like you do and make songs, you'd say it took you about 5 years before you actually were starting to make songs that you were satisfied with.
I wouldn't say I'm the best musician by far, but it definitely takes a lot of patience, a lot of effort, and a lot of time.
What would you tell somebody out there watching this right now that wants to learn how to play guitar and make music like you do?
If you aspire to create something bigger than yourself, just keep going at it. Don't give up. Just keep trying, and eventually one day you'll end up with a product that you'll be satisfied with and something that you can enjoy playing.
That's amazing. That's really good advice. So my next question, Flower Ambrosia, what does that mean?
Well, it's kind of a goofy name in my opinion, but one day we were hanging out. It was actually at your house, and your mom made ambrosia salad.
Shout out Kimmy.
Shout out Kim Smith. And so we were eating ambrosia salad. I'm like, yo, actually ambrosia is kind of like a cool, like, what does ambrosia mean? So I Googled it, and ambrosia is actually a type of flower. It can be a very beautiful flower, but also can be deadly and poisonous. So I like the dichotomy of something that's so beautiful, but also has this other side that you don't really know about until you're in the thick of it. So that's what I kind of like about Flower Ambrosia, is the dichotomy of it.
That's cool. I like that a lot. I actually never knew that.
Yeah.
I've wondered for a long time, what is Flower Ambrosia? Mm-hmm. And the only thing I thought of when I heard of that name was just ambrosia salad.
Yeah.
So it's cool to get that explanation.
That's what a lot of people think.
What is your songwriting process? How do you go about, you want to write a song, you're inspired, what do you start with?
Well, normally I start with like a chord progression, or how I want the mood of the music to sound. So
you kind of start with a feeling.
I start with a feeling, yeah, and then I'll work my chord progression off of that, and then I'll figure out lyrics, and then I'll figure out the melody of the lyrics to go over the
how you want to sing over what you played on guitar.
Exactly.
So the way you start off with a feeling, and then you start off with chords on the guitar to match that feeling,
right? And
then you bring it all together with lyrics that you create a melody for as well.
That's correct.
Takes everything together.
That's basically how I do it.
Okay, that sounds like a good process. Any favorite shows that you've played, or any shows that you've attended in general? So whether it's from the first concert you've been to or the last concert you've played, what are some memorable and some of your favorite shows or concerts you've played or attended?
Well, there's a couple that come to mind. So I used to be a really big Silverstein fan, and I used to love going to Silverstein. Band. Yeah, I know. I used to love going to Silverstein concerts because of the amount of emotion that comes through their music. when you're listening to it live, it's really a different experience. You're actually able to be one with the crowd and experience it all together. It's a really empowering feeling.
They're post-hardcore, correct?
Post-hardcore is correct, yeah.
Silverstein.
Check
Haven't
them out.
heard them. Go check them out.
Also, check out Heart to Gold from Minneapolis. Those guys are awesome.
That's what's up. Would you say Silverstein is one of your biggest influences?
They definitely were. My music taste has shifted a little bit from post-hardcore to more of like a Midwesty sort of sound, but still near and dear to my heart for sure.
So the Silverstein show, what more could you tell people about this show?
Well, for the show, I knew every lyric of every song. They have like 8 or almost 10 albums, something like that. And I listened to all of their music through and through, the whole discography, and memorized pretty much all of it. And so when they would play a song that was maybe something they haven't played in a couple years or they brought back, it was really great to be able to experience
know those
that.
lyrics and sing it with them.
Exactly. And also, adding on top of it, some of the shows that are most memorable that I have played was probably the earlier acoustic shows that I've played. So when I first started out, we had this little shindig get-together with all the local artists who are also really good friends of mine. Shout out Pottersfield and Speed Dial. But
who are Pottersfield and Speed Dial?
Pottersfield is a collaborative of Jim Burke, Dylan Pierce, Tony D, Mike Taylor, and I believe that's it. So they're really good. They have more of like a summertime flowy, like feel good music sound. Speed Dial's a little heavier. That's Cooper Taylor, Will, Alex, and
John.
John, yes, thank you. And so they're a little heavier. They really make you want to jump up and just like have a lot of fun with your friends in the pit, and not exactly a pit because it was a living room, but you know, it's just all of our friends that just get together and experience each other's music, and it's really great. So those were the kind of shows that I first started out playing. Everyone's like, yo, you should play a show, and I was like a little iffy on it because I had never performed music for people before, but after those first couple of shows, I just fell in love with performing.
So what was it about those shows that made you fall in love with performing? Was it the support that you got, or was it
100%? It was the support, just the feeling of community that I got with my friends. It was
being comfortable.
It was like another level of connecting through music. It was really great.
So you'd say music transcends words?
More than that, absolutely, yeah.
That's amazing. So, what gives you inspiration as an artist? It's a big question, so feel free to be vague or be as specific as you want.
Well, I have to say, so in the society that we live in, it was kind of normalized for men to, you know, kind of buck up and not really show emotion too much, because, you know, if you show emotion, you might be labeled as emasculine or something like that.
Sensitive.
Exactly. And which is a stupid mindset. Like there's no point to that. You should be able to express yourself the way that you want to express yourself. So growing up, I learned to, you know, just hunker down and just deal with it, and never really expressed my feelings or emotions as much as I should have. And so playing music was one of those vices that I was able to use to express myself freely, and glad to be able to share that with other people, because it's sort of a coping mechanism, but also a stress reliever at the same time. So that's pretty cool.
It's funny that you say that, because a lot of people today would agree that music is almost like a medicine.
Yes,
and
definitely.
A lot of times we're prescribed medicine to help us through things, and music is almost just like universal for helping people not only get through things but come out stronger alongside music. I think that music for me has been something that has always not only gotten me through like troubling times in my life, but when I came out of them, I didn't feel the same. I felt stronger. I felt more powerful, knowing that I had this tool that would never leave. It was always there, always at my resource, no matter what. So it's really cool to. I can relate to that. I'm sure
Yeah,
a lot of
that's
people
awesome.
can relate to that as well. So what are some hobbies that you have outside of music? So like whether it be sports or poetry or photography, what are some things that you like to do as Kyle Okonzak that people might be interested in?
It's funny because I actually did want to try my hand at photography for a little bit, but never actually invested the money into a good camera and stuff like that. But I do like photography. That is a lot of fun. I enjoy skateboarding. Skateboarding is a great sport. Keeps you active.
Where do you skateboard?
A lot of the local parks, and also just on the street as well. Street skating is some of the most fun skating.
Would you recommend any local parks to anybody?
I like to go to, because it's close to my work, I like going to Kisa out in Lancaster. That's a solid one. I don't really like to go to too many parks that are super far away, just because the drive is kind of annoying, especially when you're done skateboarding all day and you got to drive half an hour, 45 minutes on the way home.
Mm-hmm.
That's just annoying. Sitting in your own sweat, kind of gross.
What do you like to do other than skateboarding?
Well, I do like to write poetry. I definitely write poetry a lot. I don't really publish it anywhere or anything like that. We recently just had a little session at Soup of Descent. I don't know if you've heard of it.
What is Soup of Descent?
That's Soup of Descent is a local house venue in the Buffalo area. They throw a lot of shows, but it's cool because on the 13th we had a little shindig where it was mainly acoustic, unplugged. People can share their poetry, and that was actually the first time that I shared my poetry to the public.
So
to the friends.
You
anyway.
performed your own personal poetry at the show?
Yeah.
Without guitar, just...
Correct. Yeah, I did a couple poems, and then I picked up the guitar and did a couple of originals as
That's
well.
cool.
So yeah. That was
So
a lot
how
of
can
fun.
people find out about Soup of Descent and attend their future shows and hope to see Flower Ambrosia or Kyle there?
Ask a punk.
Ask a punk?
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. That's the main thing. It's word of mouth, I guess.
So this next question kind of ties in with the last question.
Mm-hmm.
How has the local scene influenced you?
Well, I'd say, what was it, about two and a half years ago, my good friend of mine, Jordan, and we got an invite to another house venue called Noiseland Arcade. That was basically the seed to me growing into the DIY scene in Buffalo. So Noiseland Arcade was great. They played a lot of punk music, a lot of folk music. That was a really good time. It was actually the place where I met a lot of my really close friends and my bandmate who's sitting over there. That's where I met Cooper. And without Noiseland Arcade, I wouldn't be where I'm at today, and I wouldn't be writing the music that I am.
Can you describe one night at Noiseland Arcade?
So you go, you walk up to this house that looks absolutely dead in the front, right? Like nothing's going on. It's like, what is going on here? Am I at the right place? And you walk through the back, into the back, and there's a bunch of people, some of them punks, some of them just regular people, some having a cigarette, and it was kind of intimidating walking in the first time. You don't know anyone there, and you don't know what to expect. So we walk in, and we noticed the music was coming from the basement. So we went down to the basement. Ceilings are probably about 4.5, 5 feet tall. So maybe a little bigger, maybe like 5.5 feet. So I'm standing there crouched down, trying not to bonk my head. And there's just packed, the room is packed full of kids and young adults just listening to this music and expressing yourself. And it's such a great time. The floor is just covered in dirt and beer, and there's mosh pits that you have to crouch down into, going in the middle, and it's just chaos but bliss at the same time. It was great. It was a good time.
Awesome.
And if you didn't want to sit down in the basement and listen to music, you could always go upstairs in the living room and have conversations with new people and make new friendships, which is really cool.
Would you say you've met some local artists through that Noiseland?
I've definitely met some local artists through Noiseland. I've met some musical influencers in the DIY scene, some of the heads of Flower Productions, which is the production studio within Noiseland. I believe, anyway. That could be misinformation. But I met a lot of the heads of that house, and they've given myself and other friends a lot of musical advice, which has definitely helped out a lot.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So Noiseland was a pretty big inspiration for you from the local scene?
Yes, it's basically, like I said, the seed to my flourishing of the DIY scene. So that was really a pivotal moment in my life, for sure.
So this next question, it's also very vague. What do you hope to accomplish with your music?
Well, I'm not really looking to accomplish. I'll tell you what I'm not looking to accomplish. I'm not really looking to accomplish fame or fortune or money. Mainly, the biggest thing that I want out of music is the release, the self-expression, the ability to create something differently than others. But that's really the biggest thing that I like to get out of it is my own
self-healing.
Exactly, yeah.
I think that's a pretty big reason why a lot of artists start making music. Some of them fall along the way to the, money and the fame and popularity and stuff, being an artist. But I think as an artist, that's the thing a lot of people start with, is that self-expression.
For sure.
Being able to accomplish some sort of meditation, I guess you could call
Definitely.
it, through this release of music. So who do you feel like you speak to as an artist, as Flower Ambrosia? When you make music, who do you think as an audience you're speaking to that hears you the most?
Well, I guess I don't have a specific genre of people that I aim towards, because I just write the music for myself. But I really hope that anyone can grasp something from my music or take anything away from it. That would be the ultimate goal. But mainly, I guess it would help out people who struggle with self-worth or relationship problems, stuff like that. I write a lot of sad music, which is the main reason why it's helpful for me to get out my emotions and whatnot.
With that being said, your music is more sad than most music. Would you say that it comes with a resolution?
Yeah. So for me anyway, my resolution is to be able to get that off my chest and have like a weight lifted. It's like I'll create something and I can sort of seal it up in this song, and I can
put
use
it out
that
in the world.
Exactly.
Get it off your
I can
shoulders.
let that song help me release those emotions and try to get through or get over whatever I'm dealing with.
And would you say music's helped you escape from a difficult time in your life? So you said you write music about relationships, about overcoming doubts and problems with self-worth.
Right.
Those come with hypothetical demons, some would call them. Those
True.
come with hard times, dark places, trials and tribulations in life. Would you say, as Kyle Okonzak, music has helped you overcome some of those obstacles and make it out of some of those dark places?
Yeah. It and like you said before, with those situations, making this music, I hope to come out of it stronger and better and more knowledgeable than I was going into it. So yes, I'd say it definitely helps me out.
What would you say is some of the most difficult places in your life that music has helped you out that you can remember? Feel free to be as specific or as vague as you want. It's a personal question.
Well, I guess I got into a pretty big rut when I separated with my high school sweetheart. That was probably about 4 or 5 years ago. And it took me a little while to get out of that. So that was actually about the time when I first started to write my first song. And that song definitely did help me out of that situation and brought me into a different mindset for the better.
What song would you say that was?
It's called Driving Around.
It's a great song.
I don't play it a lot anymore because it's super basic and I don't like it all that much, but
It's a great song.
Thank you.
Anybody who's ever seen that song live, you're lucky. It's a great song. So overall, you'd say music helps you.
It helps everyone. Not only myself. I think it, even any type of music, you know, whether it be hip hop or trance music, house music, or just solo acoustic stuff. Music can help everyone.
That's awesome. So what are your current projects that you're working on, and what can future fans of Flower Ambrosia expect to hear from you in the near future?
Well, I did just record, I didn't record a new song, I just wrote a new song, which I'll probably perform here with you guys today. And then I'll do little side shows and whatnot for Flower Ambrosia. But honestly, Flower Ambrosia isn't my top priority right now. I guess my biggest priority would be Partners on Shanley.
Okay.
With Cooper.
Tell us a little bit about Partners on Shanley.
We're a two-piece collective, and we have just started writing songs probably about 3 or 4 months ago. We're still pretty fresh. So we're working on an EP right now, and hopefully by mid to late summer we'll have something out there that people can click on and listen to.
Are there any shows that you can tell fans to look out for in the near future? Do you plan on booking any shows?
We have a couple shows coming up amidst the whole crisis. We're not sure if those will actually come through, but we'll definitely keep everyone posted on our social media pages.
And where can they find you on social media?
You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Partners on Shanley.
Awesome. That's about it. It was a pleasure getting to speak with you today.
Thanks for having me, man.
I hope everybody out there had a great time listening. Thank you for sharing this information with me
Anytime.
and with the people. Yeah, that's about it. So thanks everybody for tuning in to the first episode of Balcony Live.
Balcony Live.
All right, have a good one, guys. Peace out.
See ya.